Okay, part 2. We last left off at talking about Final Fantasy X. And, you know, well, granted, I haven't played Final Fantasy X in years, but, I suppose I would be tempted to go back to it. Not to do a Let's Play of it or anything like that, because, I'm not exactly sure I want to do anything big like that. I'll just stick to the small stuff for right now. But Final Fantasy XI, I remember hearing a lot about that it was going to be an online game, but, I didn't have online back then. And I imagine, I probably would not have enjoyed it. So Final Fantasy XI, I never played, never had any interest in, because really with a lot of online games, I don't play online. I just don't. It's not my thing. And it always seems that no matter how it may seem, the better form of internet that you may have, whether it's Wi-Fi or high speed or whatever, there's always going to be a form of lag. Now whether that's on the internet that you have, the game system, or the game, who knows? But lag is obviously going to screw up any form of game that you play. It's just bad, and it's just going to ruin it. So, Final Fantasy XI, skip for me. Final Fantasy XII, I did play later, though I didn't play it for that long. I played it for probably a couple of hours. I thought the story was interesting and different, but I really didn't like the combat. I really didn't like it. And I don't think a lot of people like the leveling up system. I certainly didn't either. Certainly, really didn't seem all too interesting. So there's that. Final Fantasy XIII. This isn't difficult, but it's obviously not going to help for my opinion on this, that I only played Final Fantasy XIII for about 15 minutes. Or 15 minutes. Now, I don't know if it was literally that long. Before I know, it might have been a half hour. But I really didn't like it. Now, I will admit, if anything, Square Enix knows how to do incredible cinematics. They do. I mean, the opening cinematic right away caught me. It's like, holy shit, this looks amazing. This is going to be awesome. And then you're introduced to the characters. A lot of their names I don't remember, and really I don't care. The black guy with the huge afro with the bird living in it. That's the sort of thing where you just... Really? And, but what really did it for me, what really made me go, I'm done, was, the other male protagonist. The character who fights with his fists. I don't know his name, again, and I don't care. What really made me go, oh god, I'm done, was after you're introduced to him, the first several things he says are nothing but, this world needs more heroes like us. We gotta be heroes. You gotta be a hero. Everybody else is a hero. You gotta be a hero. Everybody else is heroes. Shut the fuck up. Oh my god. It just got so overwhelmingly annoying and stupid. And it was right about, maybe like the third person that he talked to, they just kept on repeating this spiel, that I immediately got up and turned off my system. It's like, no thank you, I'm done. No thank you. And there's also the fact that, from what I've heard about 13, is that it's a game that either it doesn't get better until after the 30 or 40 hours of gameplay, or it gets really awesome after the next 30 or 40 hours. That's bad. Okay? A game needs to be good from the beginning. Okay? Now, I suppose you can have slow parts for the story, but not for the gameplay. That's bad and just really, really, really dumb. So, that really made you... What? Really? And then, finally... Well, not really finally, because there is another one. There was Final Fantasy 13 too. But you know what? I was done after 13. I stopped caring about the series. Really, I stopped caring about the series by 10. Really. 13 too, I didn't play it. I don't plan on playing it. I just don't care. 14, again, another online game. Not going to play it. And it really didn't help with everything that I heard, especially the trailer that they played at PAX that I got to see off of Spoony's footage. The trailer. And if anybody's seen the trailer, you immediately go, oh, Jesus, really? It's... I mean, for an MMO, that's really what you're going to use for your trailer? To advertise the brand new Final Fantasy MMO? It's like, oh, look at this! Look at this beautiful landscape! Look at this beautiful lake! Look at this beautiful kingdom! Look at this parade of people just slowly walking. Look at this person just slowly walking up this mountain. Isn't this beautiful? Isn't this so fucking boring? Really? That's what you're going to use? For your trailer to hype people up about Final Fantasy XIV? Really? And then it really didn't help with a lot of the problems that I later heard that the game had. Now, I don't know exactly what the problems were. I don't know if they were online issues or game mechanics or people just having, problems with the game itself. But the fact that Square had to issue apologies and extend free trial playthroughs for a lot of people, that's bad. So where does this take Final Fantasy? Really, I think Final Fantasy should either go away or they should try to do something new with Final Fantasy. But really, I don't really think there's anything new that can be done, because really, if you take a look at any other RPG series that has experimented or tried something new, now I can't, really come up with, any general ideas, because I'm sure everything that's being done now has already been done before. So, I mean, I suppose what would obviously be a better idea for a Final Fantasy game, whether it's online or offline, would be to stay away from being a linear game. Stop making characters that are just ridiculous. Tone it down with the characters. We don't need characters who look like... I had an idea for this. Okay, has everybody else noticed that since Final Fantasy X, every single Final Fantasy character has just looked like a clubber? Somebody with like a spray-on tan, their hair is all ridiculously styled, and the clothing is just ridiculously flashy and stupid. Has anybody else noticed this? Stop that, Square. It looks stupid. It looks really stupid. Just make a normal-looking character. Now, let me rephrase that. Normal-looking characters. All of them. And try and have, a better plot. Or a better story. As far as combat mechanics go, I think Square has done a pretty good job of always, mixing it up with how their combat mechanics will work, and leveling up and abilities and such. But really, I don't know what they should try to do for a next Final Fantasy game, if anything. I mean, really, if anything, I have begun noticing Square does have their hands on a lot of different games, namely Deus Ex, The Human Revolution. They've also had their hand on a really bad game. Now, I don't know how much influence they had on this game, and that was Mind Jack. A game that I almost rented, and I'm glad I didn't until I saw Angry Joe's review of it and made me go, ooh, dodge that bullet. Because, does that game look stupid. Yeah, and maybe there are second opinions, but you know what? Based on everything I've seen, the game looks terrible. It looks like garbage. Now, I don't know, again, how much of a hand in it. Maybe they did the cinematics, maybe they just produced it. But their name's all over it. In big, bold, Square Enix. And more than likely, the company that made it, their name is in very tiny print. Oh, well, we made this game, but it was produced by Square Enix. So, obviously, naturally, when you see a game like that and you don't like it, who are you going to think made it? The person with their name in bold on the front of it? Made by Square Enix. Sorry, but sometimes we make shit. It's true they have had a lot of hit and misses. But I'm always surprised, by what they always, by what they sometimes seem to be involved in. So, who knows? Final Fantasy series, Square Enix. And bear in mind, it's not like Square Enix is going to go away. Obviously, with a lot of the, other titles that they've been involved with. And I'm sure, well, and the apparent success of Final Fantasy 13 too. So, who knows? If Final Fantasy gets better, or if it actually piques my interest, who knows? Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you around.